Welcome back to What to Do Wednesday, where we provide quick tips to newish gardeners to help ensure that they successfully grow something this year. This week, I'm inviting you guys to join me as I try something new this year, sprouting sweet potato slips. Let's get to it. Earlier this week, I posted a picture up here of our newest experiment here on our farm. The comments and the responses that we got from that post made me think that it might be a good idea to share the rundown of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it, so that if any of you would like to join along with us, you can. Sweet potato slips are the sprouts that will come up out of a mature sweet potato plant. Those slips are what you would then plant to produce more sweet potatoes. The slips themselves you can buy already started, not established, but already started from seed companies, or you can go to your local grocery store or market and get some organic sweet potatoes and start the slips yourself. In this video, we're going to be exploring the latter of those two options, where you get a mature organic sweet potato and you sprout it yourself. I have 2 organic sweet potatoes that I found at my local market. If you want to try this experiment with me, you want to make sure that you get organic sweet potatoes. This isn't me just being uppity or snobby. Regular sweet potatoes are going to be treated or sprayed with a chemical compound that will inhibit them from sprouting. This allows a longer period of time that the sweet potatoes will sit on store shelves so that they can be sold. Organic sweet potatoes do not have that compound sprayed on them, so since we want the sweet potatoes to sprout to form the slips, we want the organic unsprayed sweet potatoes. One of the questions that you might be asking right now is, what about variety? Is there a specific variety that I need? I'm going to be planting in the ground, I'm going to be planting in containers. How do I know what sweet potato I'm getting? For the most part, what you're going to find in stores is a generic organic sweet potato label, meaning it's not sprayed, it's what you want, but you're not going to know the specific variety. When I went looking for my sweet potatoes, the first store I went to had none. They only had regular sweet potatoes. I checked out a Whole Foods that had not just one organic sweet potato. They had 3 or 4 different varieties of organic sweet potatoes. That was pretty cool because it had the variety of that sweet potato listed on the label, so you know what variety sweet potato you're picking up out of the pile. The other store that I went to, sure enough, they had the organic sweet potatoes, but it just had the generic label. I even found these little baby sweet potatoes that I'm gonna try to sprout. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, because the baby sweet potatoes, they could either be a variety that produces smaller tubers, or they could be immature sweet potatoes that were just picked at a smaller size. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna sprout them and see what happens, and if they don't work out, they don't work out. It's no big deal. Like I said, this is an experiment. Why don't you guys come over to my table here? We can get the sweet potatoes set up in their containers. So one thing I should add at this point, when you go to the store to buy your potatoes, you want something that's going to be kind of clean ends here, and something that's not going to have any like rotted spots, relatively blemish free, not a lot of dents or cuttings. All of the sweet potatoes are going to have a little bit of markings here, but really you're just going to kind of want to give it a once over. Just want to make sure when you're at the store that you are picking out potatoes that are going to be good, viable options. You're going to take your potato and rest it into the cup. You will poke it around the edges with 3 toothpicks, and those toothpicks hang on the lip of the jar or the cup and hold that potato in the water. So let's go ahead and we're going to poke our potato. When you're picking out your cups or your glass jars, you want something that's going to be relatively sturdy too. You don't want to get like a flimsy cup or a light cup that is going to be top heavy once you get your potato in there. I'm going to add water so that I've got a good bit of that end of the sweet potato submerged in the water. You can kind of add some. You don't want to fill it up all the way because as soon as you put the sweet potato in there, some of the water could be displaced, and if your cup is completely full, it'll spill out everywhere. But here I'm just eyeballing it and putting in a little bit at a time. So there you have it. All of our sweet potatoes are ready to go. Okay, once you have your sweet potato in its glass container and you have it filled up with water, every so often you might see the water get cloudy. If that happens, you can simply dump it and add fresh water to it. The other thing that you'll notice is that your water level will start to drop off. When you see that occurring, just add a little bit of additional water to top it off. And you just watch it and wait. You're gonna place it in an area that is going to get indirect light. You don't wanna place it directly under a grow light. Little sprouts coming up. Those little sprouts are actually what's called the slip. And then we're gonna take our sweet potato and cut each of those slips. So each of those slips is gonna produce one new sweet potato plant. We sit that into water so that we allow that to grow roots. After our frost date, we're gonna be ready to start to plant them in the ground. Sweet potatoes do not like to be cold. They don't even like to be cool. So you wanna make sure that you're well past your frost date. You can go ahead and plant them in your garden or in your container. Here we are gonna try both ways. I am gonna put some of the sweet potatoes out in the ground and see how they do. And then I also wanna try some in containers. I would like to get like that viney, flowy look over the containers, but I also want to see if I can get that to produce sweet potato tubers as well. If you do decide to go on this experimental journey with me, make sure you let me know in the comments below because I want to know who's tracking along with me on this. And if you see this on social media outside of YouTube, you can comment there and even show me a picture of your setup. I can't wait to see it. I thank you guys so much for tuning in on our what to do video this week. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you will be updated of next week's video going live. We are going to be taking our produce list and our sun maps and merging that together to start to develop what exactly we're gonna grow, where we're gonna try to grow it, and how we're gonna try to grow it. You're not gonna wanna miss it, so ring the notification bell and you will get notified of when that video goes live. Until then, I'll see you later.